Right. So in the last class, we've discussed about what networking is, what are networks, what are hosts. We have covered what, again, these IPv4 addresses are, what their important properties are, okay, and the sequencing of IP addresses and their range as well. Okay, so we have learned what the first IP is, what the last IP is, what are the IPs in between, how does the sequence flow one after the other. Then we talked about the categories of IPs, what are again public IPs, what are private IPs. Today we'll be discussing about the unique ranges of each of these classes. Okay, so again, as mentioned, each of these classes has its own unique fixed range, guys, and it's important to remember these ranges. Now, do not get confused. Might seem very confusing just by looking at this slide at first look, but again, there's an easy way to memorize these numbers, guys. Okay, so again, but again, as mentioned, every single time when you look at the slide, you have to remember which IP belongs to which range of which class and whether they're public or private IP. Okay, so that's what you have to take from this, no, I would say slide. Okay, so class A starts at the first IP 0000, and class E ends at the last IP 255, 255, 255, 255. Okay, now class A starts at 0 and goes all the way up to 127, 255, 255, 255. Okay. Since it's ending at 127, class B now starts at 128,000. So all these 255s cycle back to zeros and 127 increments by one according to the sequence. So class B starts at 128,000. And from 128, it goes up to 191, 255, 255, 255. Since it's ending at 191, class C starts at 192. From 192,000, it goes up to 223, 255, 255, 255. Since it's ending at 223, class D starts at 224. From 224,000, it goes all the way up to 239, 255, 255, 255. Since it's ending at 239, class E starts at 240. And from 240, it goes up to the last type 255, 255, 255, 255. So the only four numbers you have to remember are 127, 191, 223, and 239. If you remember these four numbers, you automatically get the range of the next class. Class A 0 to 127, Class B 128 to 191, Class C 192 to 223, Class D 224 to 239, and Class E 240 to 255. Okay. On the left side, you have all zeros in the ending octets. On the right side, you have all 255s in the ending octets. So there's nothing that changes over there. The only four numbers we have to remember are those four. Right. Are those four numbers over here. Okay. I think you've not been there for the demo, but again, I've shown how to access those recordings in the last class. So you can go through those. Okay. Now, in each of these ranges, guys, there's a set of public IPs and a set of private IPs as well. Okay. So class A between 0 and 127 has the private IP range from 10,000 to 10,255, 255, 255. So any IP within this range is a private IP, and any IP outside that range is a public IP. Class B similarly between 128 and 191, there's a small range. 192, sorry, 172, 11600 to 172, 31, 255, 255. Any IP within this range is a private IP. Any IP outside this range is a public IP. And similarly in class C also, between 192 and 223, there's a small range. 192, 16800 to 192, 168, 255, 255. Any IP within that range is a private IP. Any IP outside that range is a public IP. Class D and Class E do not have any private IPs in them. All of them are public IPs itself. Okay. To elaborate a bit further on this, so if we take the example of Class A, now we know it starts at 0000 and goes all the way up to 127, 255, 255, 255. So in that entire range, you have a small private IP set from 10,000 to 10,255, 255, 255. So any IP within this range is a private IP. And any IP outside this range, which means from 0000 up to 10, which is 9,255, 255, 255. And after 10, from 11,000 to up to 127, there's a public IP. So this here was one public IP set and another public IP set. So in each class, in a similar fashion, you have one small private IP set and two sets of public IPs, one on each side. Okay. Is that clear? Arun? Perfect, perfect. Now, so it's important to remember these ranges, guys, as mentioned. So as soon as you look at an IP, you have to recognize whether it's a public IP or a private IP. Because again, as mentioned in the upcoming sessions, when we go through various logs, you see these IP addresses there. So by looking at that IP, you have to figure out where the IP is initiating the attack from. If it's a private IP, it means the attacker is in your own same network. If it's a public IP, it means the attack is coming from the internet. Okay. So recognizing that IP address is very important through a log. Okay, when you see these. Okay. Now, the relevance of these five classes is each class has a different network portion and a different host portion. Class A only has one network portion and three host portions. Class B has two network portions and two host portions. Class C has three network portions and one host portion. Class D has four network portions and Class E also has four network portions. So in Class D and Class E, there are no host portions at all. Okay. So if you observe, as you're going down the line, network portions are increasing in number. Class A has one network portion. Class B has two network portions. Class C has three network portions. Class D and Class E have four network portions each. Okay. But what do I mean by these network portions and host portions? What do they represent? To understand this, we'll take the example of class C first, okay, which has three network portions and only one host portion. Now, I think I've written this down in a notepad file. One second. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So if you notice over here, I've written down the same range, exact range, class C, 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.255.255. That is the entire class C private IP range. Okay. And in class C, the first three portions are network portions, and the last portion is the host portion. What I mean by these network and host portions is the network portion gives the identity for the entire network, and the host portion gives the identity for that host in that network. Let me elaborate. Now we know the first IP in class C is 192.168.0.0. According to the sequence now, next IP would be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, goes all the way up to 0.255. Now after 0.255, you have 10. Again, there's the next sequence. Now, as long as the network portion is same, as long as these first three portions are same, all of these IPs belong to the same network, which means they can communicate with each other. This is the first host, the second host, the third host, the fourth host in the same network, the 192.168.0 network. So 0.1 is my Wi-Fi router. 2 is my, let's say, my mobile phone. 0.3 could be my laptop. 0.4 could be my smartwatch. All of these are just different hosts belonging to the same network. But when the IP moves to 192.168.1.0, the network portion is changing. Whenever there's a change in the network portion, the network divides out there, which means now this is a completely different network and this is a completely different network. And they cannot communicate with each other freely. Only devices belonging to the same network can communicate with each other. Okay. So the 0.1 can communicate with all the other IPs in the 0. Network, but it can never communicate with any device belonging to other networks. Okay. For that, you need a separate device called a router. Okay. All of these devices can just be connected to one single switch and they can communicate with each other. Now, what I mean by the switches, I mean, if I just show you an image, this is what a switch looks like. Okay, so each of these ports, you could just connect a LAN cable on one end, and on the other end of that LAN cable, you could connect one of those devices. Okay, so in that networking switch, you can connect all these devices one by one. Why is the image not opening? Much better. Okay, so I think this is a 32 port switch. Okay, sometimes again you could have smaller switches as well, But in each of these ports, you can connect each of these devices mentioned here as mentioned. Okay. And they'll communicate with each other. But even if you bring a device like 1.1 and physically connect it to that switch, it will still not be able to communicate because logically it belongs to a different network. Okay. So network portion gives the identity for the entire network. Okay. And the host portion gives the identity for each individual host in that network. Okay. So in such a fashion now in class C, we can only connect a maximum of 255 devices. Actually, it's 256 if you include 0 as well. But 0.0 and 0.255 is never assigned to any device. So the only usable IPs would be 254. But just as a round figure, let's keep it 255. Okay. So in each class C network, you can connect a maximum of 255 IPs. So from 00 to 0255, this is the first network. And in that network, you can connect 255 devices. Again, from 10 to 125, that's the next network. And in this network also, you can connect 255 devices. So in a similar fashion, in each class C network, we can connect a maximum of 255 IPs. So this is perfectly suitable for small size networks, home networks, small organization, local networks. There, you preferably use class C. But if your network requirement has a necessity for more than 255 devices to be connected, then you go for class B or class A. Now in class B, there are two network portions and two host portions. So from 172, again, class B starts at 172.16.0.0, goes up to 172.31.255.255. Okay. So all the way from 172.16.0.0 to 16.255.255, that is one single network now. Okay. So 00, 01, 02, 03, 04 goes up to 0255. After 0255, you have 10, but here the network doesn't change because the last two portions are host portions itself. So 0255 can now communicate with 10. Okay. Then it can also communicate with all the other IPs below it 11, 12, 13, 14, 1255, 2021, 2223, 24, 2255. Goes all the way up to 2550, 2551, 2552, 2553. Goes up to 255, 255. All of these belong to the same network. But now when the 16 changes to 17, there the network divides. So after 16, 255, 255, you have 1700. All the 255s cycle back to zeros, and the next octet increments by 1. So here the network divides because there's a change in the network portion. Okay. So now therefore in each class B network, you can connect a maximum of 255 into 255 devices. Since you have two host portions, it would be 255 into 255, which is equal to 65,535. Okay, a much larger network. Okay. And finally, in class A, we have one network portion and three host portions. Class A network starts at 10,000 and it goes up to 10,255, 255, 255. So all the IPs from 10,000 to 10,255, 255, 255 belong in one single network itself. When 10 changes to 11, the network divides over there. Okay. So all the IPs from 10,000 to 10,255, 255, 255 belong to one single huge network. And in this one network, I can connect a maximum of 255 into 255 into 255 IPs, which is a much larger network. So that is the relevance of each class, guys. Okay, class C for small networks, class B for connecting larger networks. Class D and class E do not have host portions, and all of them are public IPs, special public IPs for again research and development, for military organizations, for government portals. Those people use class D and class E public IPs. Okay, so this is the relevance of each class. Any questions, any doubts? Perfect. So yeah, again, I was supposed to show these protocols as well today. I was supposed to show what is subnet mask, what is default gateway, what is DHCP server, what is DORA process, what is DNS server. But since the strength is a bit low today, we'll leave it for the next session, for Monday's session. Okay, so on Monday, I'm going to cover these remaining concepts. Okay, so yeah, this would be the last demo, I would say. If you're interested to continue further questions, no, no problem. That's completely fine. That's totally fine. But again, as mentioned, this will be the last demo. So if you're interested, you can join the further classes from Monday by registering with DurgaSoft. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Nothing further. We can exit the session here. And this recording will be uploaded on YouTube from DurgaSoft. From Monday, you'll get the recordings only if you're registered. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining the session today. We'll be connecting back soon. Bye-bye.